Hello and welcome back to our channel, Finance with Angelina. From today, we are going to start a new book summary series to help you better understand the finances. So, let's start with the most famous book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. The book is about the different mindsets and financial habits of the rich and the poor. The author learned these lessons from his two fathers, his biological father, who was well educated but poor, and his best friend's father, who was a dropout but rich. He calls them Poor Dad and Rich Dad respectively. The book consists of 6 lessons that the author learned from Rich Dad. Lesson 1: The rich don't work for money. They make money work for them by investing in assets that generate passive income. For example, Rich Dad owned several businesses and properties that paid him rent, dividends, and royalties. He did not depend on a salary or a pension to live comfortably. He taught the author to think like an investor, not an employee. Lesson 2: Why teach financial literacy? Financial literacy is the ability to understand how money works and how to use it to create wealth. It involves knowing the difference between assets and liabilities, and how to increase your cash flow. For example, Rich Dad explained that an asset is something that puts money in your pocket, while a liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. He advised the author to buy more assets and fewer liabilities, and to keep track of his income statement and balance sheet. Lesson 3: Mind your own business. Don't rely on a job or a paycheck for your financial security. Focus on building your own business and acquiring assets that will make you financially independent. For example, Rich Dad encouraged the author to start his own comic book library business when he was a kid, instead of working for someone else. He also taught him to use his spare time and money to learn new skills and find new opportunities. Lesson 4: The history of taxes and the power of corporations. Taxes were originally created to punish the rich, but they ended up hurting the poor and the middle class more. Corporations are legal entities that allow the rich to protect their assets and pay less taxes. For example, Rich Dad showed the author how he used a corporation to reduce his tax burden by deducting expenses such as travel, education, and entertainment. He also explained how he used debt as leverage to buy more assets and increase his cash flow. Lesson 5: The rich invent money. The rich use their creativity and financial intelligence to create opportunities and solve problems. They don't let fear or doubt stop them from taking calculated risks. For example, Rich Dad taught the author how to find bargains and negotiate deals that would generate high returns with low investment. He also challenged him to overcome his fear of losing money by playing games such as Monopoly and Cash Flow. Lesson 6: Work to learn, don't work for money. The most important skill for building wealth is not how much you earn, but how much you learn. The rich constantly seek to improve their knowledge and skills, especially in areas such as accounting, investing, marketing, and law. For example, Rich Dad advised the author to work for different companies not for the salary, but for the experience and the network. He also encouraged him to read books, attend seminars, and find mentors. The book also covers 5 obstacles that prevent people from becoming rich. Fear: the fear of losing money or failing keeps people from taking action. For example, Poor Dad was afraid of quitting his job or starting a business because he did not want to risk his security or reputation. Cynicism: the cynicism of negative people or the media discourages people from pursuing their dreams. For example, Poor Dad often criticized Rich Dad's ideas as unrealistic or risky because he did not understand them or believe in them. Laziness: the laziness of not wanting to work hard or learn new things prevents people from growing. For example, Poor Dad preferred to watch TV or play games instead of reading books or attending courses. Bad habits: The bad habits of spending more than you earn or not managing your money well leads to debt and poverty. For example, poor dad often bought things he did not need or could not afford with credit cards or loans. Arrogance. The arrogance of thinking you know everything or not listening to others blinds you to new opportunities or feedback. For example, poor dad was too proud to admit his mistakes or ask for help when he needed it. The book concludes with 10 steps to develop your financial genius. Find a reason greater than reality, have a strong purpose or vision that motivates you to overcome challenges. For example, the author wanted to become rich because he wanted to help his family and his community. Make daily choices. Choose to be rich, not poor. Choose to be financially literate, not ignorant. Choose to take action, not procrastinate. For example, the author chose to follow rich dad's advice, not poor dad's advice. He chose to learn about money, not ignore it. He chose to start his own business, not wait for a job. Choose friends carefully. Surround yourself with positive and successful people who will support you and inspire you. For example, the author chose to be friends with rich dad's son, who shared his interest and ambition. He also chose to join groups and clubs where he could meet other entrepreneurs and investors. Master a formula and then learn a new one. Master one way of making money and then move on to another. Don't get stuck in one formula or comfort zone. For example, the author mastered the formula of buying low and selling high with his comic book business. Then he learned a new formula of buying properties with positive cash flow. Pay yourself first. Invest in yourself and your assets before you pay your bills or expenses. This will force you to be more creative and disciplined. For example, the author paid himself first by setting aside a portion of his income for investing. He paid his bills and expenses with the remaining income or with the income from his assets. Pay your brokers well. Reward the people who help you make money, such as brokers, advisors, mentors, etc. They will work harder for you and bring you more deals. For example, the author paid his brokers well by giving them generous commissions or bonuses. He also paid his advisors well by hiring them for their expertise or referrals. Be an Indian giver. Use leverage to borrow money and then repay it quickly with profits from your investments. This will increase your return on investment and reduce your risk. For example, the author used leverage to buy properties with little or no money down. He then repaid the loans quickly with the rent income or by selling the properties at a higher price. Use assets to buy luxuries. Don't buy luxuries with your earned income. Buy them with passive income generated by your assets. This way, you won't deplete your wealth. For example, the author did not buy luxuries with his salary or wages. He bought them with the income from his businesses or properties. Choose heroes to emulate. Find role models who have achieved what you want to achieve and learn from them. Copy their strategies and mindset. For example, the author chose Rich Dad as his hero and emulated his way of thinking and acting toward money. Teach and you shall receive. Share your knowledge and experience with others who want to learn. This will reinforce your learning and attract more wealth. For example, the author taught others what he learned from Rich Dad through his books, seminars, games, etc. A beginner can get the most out of this book by applying the lessons and steps in their own life. They can start by increasing their financial literacy, identifying their assets and liabilities, creating a budget and a plan, finding mentors and advisors, looking for opportunities and deals, taking action and learning from mistakes. If you have any suggestion for a book, then do let us know in the comments and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.